Hi everyone, this is Carol Ann Speaks, the State of Our World on Wednesday, June 30, 2021. So, a lot of things going on in the world. Let's do a little recap, okay? Alright. A sea level expert in Miami says we're building here like there's no tomorrow. Maybe that's correct. Evidently, the collapse of a condominium building in Miami Beach, 13-story building, and people wondering how rising sea levels will impact oceanside buildings in Miami and other cities. The reason this is so important is that either this is something unique to the building or this is a general problem that all the condos along the coastlines of the world are going to have to deal with. This is Harold Wanless, a professor in geography and urban sustainability at the University of Miami, who leads a project called The Invading Sea, a collaboration effort by news organizations across Florida to address the threat of sea level rise. I totally sea level rise, climate change. I know in New York, the New York City is built at sea level, and when it's a big rainstorm, the subways flood. So anyway, something to think about. And then also in New Orleans, I know they rebuilt the the protections of New Orleans because New Orleans is built below sea level. How silly. Okay, how the Abolition Amendment would end constitutional loophole that allows forced labor in prisons. Now, we're going to have June 19th as a holiday, and apparently, there's an amendment that has been reintroduced called the Abolition Amendment to amend the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which bans slavery and involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime. A clause that has allowed the widespread use of forced prison labor, eliminating this would be a good thing if we can do it. We'll have to see, because, okay, let's see if we can avoid change this amendment. Because if someone is in prison and then the prison can use their labor for free, we have to address the problem of our past and building for the future. So American prisons are run by incarcerated labor, adds John Renaud, National Criminal Justice Director for Latino Justice, who experienced forced labor while serving 27 years in a Texas prison. I agree. We should definitely amend that amendment. I don't know how we do that. I don't know how you get the votes to do it. Now, also, Israeli forces begin demolitions in East Jerusalem, Silwan, and attack protesters. Protests are erupted in occupied East Jerusalem after Israeli forces equipped with bulldozers entered the Palestinian neighborhood of Silwan and demolished a local business in the Al Bustan area, claiming the butcher shop did not have a proper permit. Israeli soldiers used tear gas and beat protesters with batons. At least 13 Palestinians were injured. Here, do you see this, everybody? This has only been constructed 2 months ago. It cost 300,000 shekels. I swear to God, and the merchandise is still in it, according to a Silwan resident. At least 15 families in Al Bustan are at risk of being dispossessed, as Israeli forces have ordered them to destroy their own homes or pay the demolition cost. Israeli authorities have banned all new construction in the area and have earmarked the land to build a park. This comes as a Palestinian ambassador to the UN said Israeli occupation forces have demolished 72 buildings in the past 3 months, leading to the displacement of 78 Palestinians. UN warns over 100,000 people in occupied East Jerusalem are at risk of displacement. Israel, you have to change your policies. You can't demolish their land. You can't refuse to give them a permit and then demolish their homes. What a way to win friends. Israel, you're a real idiot in the way you operate. Now, Israel's foreign minister inaugurates embassy in UAE. So Israel's new foreign minister inaugurated its embassy in United Arab Emirates today and is opening an Israeli consulate in Dubai. It's the first visit to the UAE by an Israeli cabinet minister since the two countries normalized relations past year. That was Trump's present to Israel by getting two right-wing Arab countries to recognize the existence of Israel. What a way to go. What a way to go. Very bad. Now, Pfizer and Moderna vaccines could offer years of protection. That would be nice if you don't need a booster, but we don't know about that yet. But what if you had the Johnson vaccine? Is that going to be good? Also, the Supreme Court allows the eviction moratorium to stand. So that's good. Good housing news. The CDC issued a moratorium on evictions will stand until the end of July. I think it should be permanent and allow for the owners of the properties that hold the mortgages to get paid, but don't evict people. God, what a horrible thing to do. Now, Maricopa County in Arizona will replace voting machines handled by GOP hired firm in 2020 election audit. The officials will replace all voting machines that were turned over to a private company hired by Republicans to conduct a fourth audit of the 2020 election. Maricopa County Board of Supervisors said the equipment could pose a risk to free and fair elections after being handled by cyber ninjas, a company with no record of working in election security and whose CEO has promoted conspiracy theories claiming the presidential election was stolen. Okay, so the nuts have caused Maricopa County, cost them more money. I don't know how they're allowed to take these machines. Now, New York Times reports that far-right operatives infiltrated Democratic-affiliated groups across western states during the 2020 election cycle to try to manipulate politics and reshape the U.S. electoral map. The Times expose reveals how a former British spy connected to the mercenary contractor Erik Prince, who is the brother of Betsy DeVos, who was the education secretary under Trump. Anyway, this mercenary recruited ex-operatives from the conservative group Project Veritas to gather dirt that could sabotage reputations of people and groups considered threats to then-President Trumpy. Major funding for the effort came from Susan Gore, heiress of the Gore-Tex fortune. The operatives also targeted Wyoming Republican Governor Mark Gordon, whom Trump supporters considered far too moderate. Okay, I think these people have to go. We have to reform our election system, protect everyone, and get rid of these right-wing groups that are really dangerous to our democracy. Okay, now, any more news? Yes. Supreme Court ruled that asylum seekers who were previously deported and then re-entered the U.S. can be detained indefinitely. The case involved asylum seekers who were apprehended when re-entering the United States after deportation, even though many faced violent persecution, torture, and death in their home countries. The 63 ruling also allows the U.S. government to deprive those asylum seekers of their right to see a judge or be given a bond hearing while their cases are resolved, a process that could take months or years. This comes as BuzzFeed reports the number of imprisoned asylum seekers has skyrocketed under the Biden administration, nearly doubling from 14,000 this year to 27,000 detained people in June. These people are coming from countries where they face all kinds of threat and persecution because of American policy in these countries. So we're causing the problems that are bringing them here. Also, we're causing the climate change, which is hurting their economy, their agriculture. What a way to go. All right. Sea level expert says that we are building like there's no tomorrow. And oceanside buildings in Miami and other places face threat of falling down because of rising seas. Something needs to be followed. The sea is rising, climate change. The ice sheets are melting because of climate change. It's not going to go away, it's there. Okay, there's a constitutional loophole that allows forced labor in prisons, so we have to change that loophole. That's the 13th Amendment. Good luck in trying to get Congress to agree to change that. Forced labor. Slavery lives here. All right, now that's a lot of stuff. So, maybe it's time for a little music now. How about that? Okay, the song I'd like to sing today is an old folk song written by Tom Springfield of the Springfields folk group. And his sister Dusty Springfield sings lead on this, and she's an international singing star. Okay. Hey there, Georgie girl, walking down the street so fancy-free. Nobody you meet would ever see the loneliness there inside you. Hey there, Georgie girl, why do all the boys just pass you by? Could it be you just don't try, or is it the clothes you wear? You're always window shopping, but never stopping to buy. So shed those dowdy feathers and fly a little bit. Hey there, Georgie girl. There's another Georgie deep inside. Bring out all the love you hide, and oh, what a change there'd be. The world would see a new Georgie girl. Okay, that's it. Hope you like that, Georgie girl. Thank you for tuning in this evening of Wednesday, June 30th, 2021, for another meeting of Caroline Speaks State of Our World. I hope you'll be back with us again tomorrow evening. In the meantime, stay safe, take care of yourself and others, wear a mask, only go out when you have to, practice social distancing. Even if you've been vaccinated, there's a variant out there, keep multiplying. So do what you can, and take care of yourself and others. And if you haven't been vaccinated, when the vaccine is available for you and it's safe to take it, I would take it. I have got my vaccine on May 27th. I'm in good shape, they say. Anyway, my arms aren't sore anymore, and I'm not tired. That's good. Okay, hope to see you tomorrow. Remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe.